Hello, I'm Stephen Boylan from Easons.com, and I'm absolutely delighted to welcome back to Eason Mr. Donal Ryan. His new book, All We Shall Know, has just been published by Doubleday. Donal, thank you very much for coming back in to see us. As I say, the new book is called All We Shall Know. Tell us a little bit about it and what inspired the story.
Sure. Well, All We Shall Know is about a teacher called Melody Shee who is pregnant by a young traveller boy with whom she had an affair. And I suppose the premise is pretty explosive. But my dad actually read an early draft of it and said, just commando, you managed to write that book and have nearly no sex in it. But yeah, so Melody kind of is alone for the first time in her life, and she spends her pregnancy kind of in a friendship with another young traveller called Mary Crothery, and their friendship kind of develops through the book. And it's kind of, you know, it's based actually, the character of Mary actually is based loosely on a girl I used to know, kind of vaguely, you know, a girl about whom I knew, you know, a very small amount of information. I didn't really know her name actually, but she kind of stayed in my memory, and she just seemed like the subject of a novel always, you know.
Yeah.
Because you have to do that, you know, you literally stumble on ideas and stories.
Okay. The book is mainly told from a female perspective, mainly in the first kind of person singular. Was that always how you envisioned the story, or did that kind of come along as you kind of developed the story itself?
Yeah, actually, I started off writing in the third person, and I have a bit of trouble at times with the third person. Even though you actually you're more free in the third person, you know, because you're pretty much omnipotent. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, the first person really you have obvious strictures, but it just, her voice was very clear in my head, and she seemed to know what she wanted to say, so I just let her off.
Very good.
Yeah.
We had a collection of short stories, The Slanting of the Sun, but this is your third novel following on The Spinning Heart and Thing About December, and now All We Shall Know. Do you approach every novel in the same way when you're sitting down to write it, or has it been a kind of a very different experience each time you've done it?
They actually have been very different. With the first novel I wrote was The Thing About December, and I was really disciplined, you know, and I wrote for 3 hours every single night between 9 and 12, because I had to, because I was working full time. And I literally didn't miss a night, you know, and I stopped for about a month, and Marie persuaded me to start again. And, you know, within The Spinning Heart, I wrote very quickly, kind of pretty much in one summer, the first draft.
Yeah.
But it was here and there, you know, it was some early mornings and weekends, and then the short stories kind of happened over time, you know, and again it was a bit scattered. This book actually, I was back to being disciplined again, you know, because I was kind of, for the first time I felt like a full-time writer, you know, and I had an office in the University of Limerick. They very kindly took me in and gave me work in an office, fantastic. Yeah. And so it was kind of intense, you know. I had a very, very, you know, scattered, loose first draft from about 5 years ago, but I spent last summer, you know, working at it kind of intensely.
Yeah.
And knocked it out, yeah.
Very good. There'll be a lot of prospective writers, I'm sure, watching who are struggling to finish their first book, and we get authors who deliver kind of every 5 years, every 10 years. Donal Tart is always kind of a long time. This is your fourth book in fourth year, in 4 years. We're delighted that you're so prolific, but is there any secret to how you have the stories?
Well, it's a bit of a cheat, because I mean, I started to write novels seriously about 12 years ago, so it's really like, it feels to me like I'm on my fifth book now in 12 years, so it feels very slow, and actually they're all very short books as well, so there wasn't, you know, there was no huge amount of labour involved.
Yeah.
And I do tend to write pretty quickly when I get down to it, you know. I think slowly and write quickly, I think.
Very good, very good. Anything that you're reading at the moment that you can recommend? We love books here at Eason. Anything that you can kind of...
Yeah, I just read an advanced copy of Days Without End by Sebastian Barry, which was just amazing.
Yeah.
I also read, I was lucky enough to get an advanced copy of Paul Lynch's new novel called Grace, which is also unbelievable. Two actually nearly the best books I've read in a long time. There's a book coming out soon from Lilliput called The Abode of Fancy by Sam Call, and it could take over the world, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Fantastic. Keep an eye for those, because Sebastian Barry is out 20th of October, so that is coming very, very soon. What's next for Donal Ryan? What are you working on next?
I'm working on a novel, and it's kind of slow going at the moment because I'm pretty busy with different things. But it's kind of hooked me in. I'm at that point in it now where I'm kind of, there's no going back, you know. I reckon once you get to about 10,000 words, you're kind of invested.
Yeah.
You know, you can't stop really. But I have a very tattered, battered first draft in longhand in my office, so happy enough with that.
So you're going to keep trucking away on that?
Yeah, I suppose I kind of have to know, really. Choice.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for coming and see us. As I said, All We Shall Know is available in all Eason stores and on the Easons.com. Donal, pleasure as always.
Thank you.